Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 2 of our 30-day Let Review series for English majors. For the next 30 days, I'll be uploading practice tests with explanations to help you prepare for the licensure exam for teachers. Today's focus is on professional education, specifically facilitating learning. We'll go through 50 practice questions to sharpen your understanding of this core subject. Each question comes with a 10-second timer, but feel free to pause the video anytime if you need more time to think. After the timer, I'll reveal the correct answer along with a clear explanation, so you won't just memorize, you'll understand. So grab your notebook, set aside distractions, and let's begin our review together. Which of the following best describes facilitating learning? A. Transferring all knowledge from teacher to students. B. Creating an environment where learners actively construct knowledge. C. Making students memorize facts. D. Teacher-centered approach only. The correct answer is letter B. Facilitating learning is about guiding students to take an active role in the learning process rather than passively receiving information. The teacher creates an environment where learners can explore, reflect, and construct meaning from their own experiences. Which teaching method is most aligned with constructivism? A. Lecture. B. Drill and practice. C. Discovery learning. D. Dictation. The correct answer is letter C. Discovery learning. Constructivism emphasizes that learners build knowledge through active exploration and discovery. Discovery learning encourages curiosity, problem solving, and deeper understanding rather than simple memorization. In Vygotsky's theory, the zone of proximal development refers to A. Skills learners can already do independently. B. Tasks that are impossible for learners to achieve. C. Tasks learners can do with guidance or collaboration. D. Physical area for learning. The correct answer is letter C. The zone of proximal development highlights tasks that learners cannot yet perform alone but can achieve with guidance from a teacher or peers. It's where the most effective learning takes place because it challenges the learner just enough. Which principle of facilitating learning stresses that prior knowledge affects new learning? A. Law of exercise. B. Law of effect. C. Schema theory. D. Behaviorism. The correct answer is letter C. Schema theory emphasizes that learners connect new knowledge to what they already know. If prior knowledge is strong, new learning is easier and more meaningful. Who is the theorist behind experiential learning? A. B.F. Skinner. B. David Kolb. C. Albert Bandura. B. John Dewey. The correct answer is letter B. David Kolb introduced the idea that learning is a cycle involving concrete experiences, reflection, conceptualization, and active experimentation. His model shows that experience plays a central role in the learning process. A teacher provides scaffolding to help students master a task. This means A. Giving direct answers to problems. B. Providing temporary support until students can work independently. C. Encouraging rote memorization. D. Repeating drills until mastery. The correct answer is letter B. Providing temporary support until students can work independently. Scaffolding involves giving learners just enough to help to accomplish a task they cannot yet do alone. Over time, the support is reduced as students gain independence and confidence. Look at it this way. Pag may nakita kayo na itatayong building, di ba parang may skeleton na tinatayo na pwedeng patungan ng mga construction worker? And that is what we call scaffolding. So, pagtapos na yung building, unti-unti na rin nilang binabaklas yung mga scaffolding, di ba? Because the building can already stand on its own. Same thing with this question in number 6. So, yung scaffolding is just to support the students, but as soon as you reach the point where the student can do it on themselves or on their own, you can detach yourself na from them, from the activity. Which of the following best encourages active learning? A. Long lectures. B. Teacher reading the textbook aloud. C. Group projects and discussions. D. Copying notes from the board. The correct answer is letter C. Group projects and discussions. Active learning happens when students participate and engage with the material. Group work and discussions allow them to share ideas, ask questions, and apply what they've learned. In Piaget stages, abstract thinking develops in A. Sensory motor. B. Pre-operational. C. Concrete operational. D. Formal operational. The correct answer is D. Formal operational. The formal operational stage begins around age 12 when learners can think abstractly and reason logically about hypothetical situations. This is where higher order thinking skills fully develop. Which strategy best aligns with metacognition? A. Encouraging learners to reflect on how they solved a problem. B. Asking students to memorize definitions. C. Teacher explaining the answer immediately. D. Repetitive drilling. The correct answer is letter A. Encouraging learners to reflect on how they solved a problem. Metacognition is thinking about thinking, which means learners reflect on their own thought processes. By analyzing how they solved a problem, they become more aware of strategies at work and those that don't. A learner-centered classroom is characterized by A. Teacher dominance in all activities. B. Passive student role. C. Students constructing knowledge with teacher guidance. D. Focus only on test preparation. The correct answer is letter C. In a learner-centered classroom, students are active participants in the learning process. The teacher acts as a facilitator who guides, supports, and encourages students to explore and discover. Bandura's social learning theory highlights the importance of A. Drill and repetition. B. Learning through imitation and modeling. C. Memorization of concepts. D. Independent study only. The correct answer is letter B. Learning through imitation and modeling. Bandura explained that learners often require new behaviors and knowledge by observing others. Therefore, modeling and imitation are powerful tools for shaping attitudes and actions. Which is the best way to facilitate learning in a diverse classroom? A. Use one teaching method for all learners. B. Differentiate instruction to match learners' needs. C. Ignore individual differences. D. Focus only on fast learners. The correct answer is letter B. Differentiated instruction recognizes that learners have unique strengths, interests, and abilities. Therefore, adjusting teaching methods ensures that all students are supported and challenged appropriately. Experiential learning emphasizes A. Memorization of theories. B. Hands-on activities and reflection. C. Listening to lectures only. D. Reading without discussion. The correct answer is letter B. Hands-on activities and reflection. Experiential learning allows learners to learn by doing and then reflect on their experiences. This combination of action and reflection leads to deeper understanding. Which of the following is not a principle of effective facilitating learning? A. Active engagement. B. Collaboration. C. Rote memorization. D. Motivation. The correct answer is letter C. Rote memorization involves mechanical repetition without true understanding. Effective learning requires engagement, motivation, and opportunities to work with others. Cooperative learning best promotes A. Individual competition. B. Teamwork and shared responsibility. C. Passive listening. D. Teacher-centered teaching. The correct answer is letter B. Teamwork and shared responsibility. Cooperative learning encourages students to collaborate, share knowledge, and support each other. It develops both social and academic skills. A teacher groups students to solve real-world problems. This strategy is called A. Problem-based learning. B. Direct instruction. C. Drill method. D. Dictation method. The correct answer is letter A. Problem-based learning challenges students with authentic real-life problems, and this method promotes critical thinking, collaboration, and independent problem-solving. If a student learns best by doing hands-on tasks, what learning style is dominant? A. Visual. B. Auditory. C. Kinesthetic. D. Reflective. The correct answer is letter C. Kinesthetic learners understand concepts better when they are physically engaged in activities. Hands-on tasks like experiments and role play work best for them. A student says, I understand better when I explain the lesson to my classmates. This shows A. Metacognitive strategy, B. Social learning, C. Peer teaching, D. All of the above. The correct answer is letter D. Explaining to others, the student is reflecting on their thought process, which is the metacognition, learning socially, and reinforcing understanding through teaching peers. This is a powerful strategy for mastery. A teacher integrates real-life examples when discussing abstract concepts. This demonstrates A. Constructivist teaching, B. Lecture method, C. Authoritarian teaching, D. Behaviorist teaching. The correct answer is letter A. Constructivist teaching connects new concepts with familiar, real-world situations, and this helps students relate abstract lessons to their own experiences and deepen their understanding. Which principle is applied when a teacher motivates students by giving a praise? A. Law of exercise, B. Law of effect, C. Law of readiness, D. Schema theory. The correct answer is letter B. Thorndike's law of effect states that behaviors followed by positive consequences are more likely to be repeated. Praise reinforces desired learning behaviors and builds motivation. A teacher uses brainstorming before starting a lesson. What principle is being applied? A. Activating prior knowledge, B. Reinforcement, C. Rote learning, D. Drill method. The correct answer is letter A. Activating prior knowledge. Brainstorming activates students' existing knowledge and connects it to new content. This makes learning more meaningful because it builds on what learners already know. Which approach emphasizes learners working together to achieve shared goals? A. Individualized learning, B. Cooperative learning, C. Authoritarian learning, D. Lecture method. The correct answer is letter B. Cooperative learning allows students to collaborate in small groups where each member contributes. This method fosters teamwork, social skills, and accountability. A teacher tells students, think about how you solve the problem and what steps work best. This encourages A. Memorization, B. Metacognition, C. Copying strategies, D. Drill practice. The correct answer is letter B. Metacognition. Asking learners to reflect on their strategies develops metacognitive skills. It makes them more aware of how they learn and improves their ability to solve future problems. When a teacher demonstrates a process step by step while students watch, the strategy used is A. Modeling, B. Brainstorming, C. Inductive method, D. problem solving. The correct answer is letter A. Modeling shows learners the correct way to perform a task by example. Students can then imitate and practice the process, which makes abstract concepts more concrete. Which learning principle is illustrated when students remember lessons better if they are meaningful and interesting? A. Law of effect. B. Law of exercise. C. Law of readiness. D. Constructivism. The correct answer is letter A. Law of effect. The law of effect explains that learning strengthens when it leads to satisfying experiences. If students find lessons enjoyable, they are more motivated to retain them. Which of the following strategies helps develop critical thinking? A. Asking recall questions. B. Giving open-minded problems. C. Memorization drills. D. Dictation. The correct answer is letter B. Giving open-ended problems. Open-ended problems require learners to analyze, evaluate, and generate ideas. This moves them beyond memorization and builds higher-order thinking skills. Which of the following best describes scaffolding in the classroom? A. Permanent teacher assistance. B. Temporary support that is gradually removed. C. Encouraging competition among learners. D. Memorization through drills. The correct answer is letter B. Scaffolding means providing structured support at first, such as hints, prompts, or demonstrations. As learners gain confidence, the teacher slowly withdraws assistance as students can work independently. A teacher uses role-playing to teach empathy. This strategy works best because A. It is purely for entertainment. B. It helps students experience situations from different perspectives. C. It reduces the need for discussion. D. It promotes rote memorization. The correct answer is letter B. Role-playing allows students to help imagine themselves in others' situations. This experiential approach develops empathy, communication, and social understanding. In Kolb's experiential learning cycle, which stage comes after concrete experience? A. Active experimentation. B. Reflective observation. C. Abstract conceptualization. D. Application. The correct answer is letter B. Reflective observation. After experiencing something, learners reflect on what happened and how they felt about it. This reflection helps them draw meaning from their experience. A student who observes a teacher's demonstration and then practices the skill is following A. Classical conditioning. B. Operant conditioning. C. Social learning theory. D. Constructivism. The correct answer is letter C. Bandura's social learning theory explains that students can learn by observing others. When they imitate the demonstrated behavior, learning becomes more effective. Which of the following supports individualized instruction? A. One-size-fits-all lecture. B. Assigning the same task to everyone. C. Allowing students to choose projects based on interest. D. Ignoring learning differences. The correct answer is letter C. Allowing students to choose projects based on interest. Giving learners choices tailors instruction to their interests and strengths. This approach respects individuality and increases motivation. Which principle states that learners retain more when they actively use the information? A. Law of readiness. B. Law of exercise. C. Schema theory. D. Behaviorism. The correct answer is letter B. Thorndike's law of exercise emphasizes that practice strengthens learning. The more students apply knowledge, the more likely they are to retain it. A teacher allows students to set personal learning goals. This fosters A. Dependence on the teacher. B. Self-directed learning. C. Memorization of facts. D. Passive learning. The correct answer is letter B. Self-directed learning. Goal setting encourages students to take responsibility for their own progress. This helps them become lifelong learners and critical thinkers. When a teacher uses games to make learning enjoyable, which principle is being applied? A. Learning is more effective when it is associated with pleasure. B. Drill is the best way to learn. C. Competition always produces better results. D. Learning happens only when forced. The correct answer is letter A. Learning is more effective when it is associated with pleasure. Students are more likely to remember lessons when they are fun and engaging. Therefore, positive emotions strengthen motivation and retention. Which of the following shows inductive teaching? A. Teacher explains rules first, then gives examples. B. Teacher provides examples, then students derive the rule. C. Teacher asks students to memorize the rule. D. Teacher gives direct answers immediately. The correct answer is letter B. Teacher provides examples, then students derive the rule. Inductive teaching starts with specific observations or examples. Students then generalize and form their own conclusions or rules. A teacher designs a lesson that begins with concrete materials, moves to visuals, and then to abstract symbols. Which principle is applied? A. Spiral progression. B. Inductive method. C. Bruner's enactive iconic symbolic modes. D. Behaviorism. The correct answer is letter C. Jerome Bruner explained that learners process information through 3 stages: enactive or hands-on, iconic or pictures and diagrams, and symbolic, abstract representations. Following the sequence helps learners understand complex ideas better. Students are asked to apply a scientific concept to solve a local environmental problem. This demonstrates A. Higher order thinking skills, B. Rote memorization, C. Teacher-centered instruction, D. Authoritarian discipline. The correct answer is letter A. Higher order thinking skills. Applying concepts to real-world problems requires analysis, evaluation, and creation. These are the top levels of Bloom's taxonomy, which reflect higher order thinking. A teacher gradually gives fewer hints as students gain mastery. This process is an example of A. Scaffolding, B. Drill and practice, C. Direct teaching, D. Memorization. The correct answer is letter A. Scaffolding provides temporary help and slowly reduces it as students gain confidence. This ensures that learners can eventually perform tasks independently. Which of the following is an example of experiential learning? A. Memorizing multiplication tables, B. Reading a summary of a field trip, C. Participating in an actual community cleanup activity, D. Copying notes about the environment. The correct answer is letter C. Participating in an actual community cleanup activity. Experiential learning emphasizes learning by doing. So by joining a real cleanup activity, students experience the issue directly and reflect on it, leading to deeper understanding. A student can perform tasks alone after initially working with teacher support. This shows what movement? A. From ZPD to independence, B. From concrete to abstract, C. From rote learning to memorization, D. From behaviorism to constructivism. The correct answer is letter A. Vygotsky's ZPD explains that learners progress from guided learning to independent performance. This transition shows successful facilitation of learning. A teacher encourages students to challenge assumptions and justify their answers with evidence. This promotes A. Passive learning, B. Critical thinking, C. Rote learning, D. Surface learning. The correct answer is letter B. Critical thinking goes beyond recalling facts and requires students to analyze, evaluate, and defend their ideas. Encouraging evidence-based reasoning develops independent learners. A student first learns how to add using objects, then with drawings, and finally without aids. This progression illustrates A. Memorization, B. Spiral curriculum, C. Concrete to abstract learning, D. Rote learning. The correct answer is letter C. Concrete to abstract learning. Learners often begin with tangible materials before moving to abstract symbols. This sequence helps them fully understand mathematical and conceptual processes. In facilitating learning, why is feedback important? A. It ends the learning process. B. It discourages students from making mistakes. C. It guides learners on how to improve performance. D. It serves only as praise. The correct answer is letter C. It guides learners on how to improve performance. Effective feedback provides specific information that helps students know what they did well and what to improve. It is a key tool in shaping future learning behavior. Which strategy is best when a teacher wants students to learn from each other's diverse perspectives? A. Peer learning. B. Silent reading. C. Teacher monologue. D. Drill method. The correct answer is letter A. Peer learning allows students to share their unique ideas and knowledge. It values collaboration and builds understanding through social interaction. A teacher asks learners to design an original product applying scientific concepts. This activity develops A. Remembering skills. B. Creative and critical thinking. C. Drill and practice ability. D. Copying skills. The correct answer is letter B. Creative and critical thinking. Designing something new requires applying knowledge in innovative ways. This reflects the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy, creating. Students are asked to compare and contrast two different problem-solving strategies. This task develops A. Recall, B. Evaluation, C. Rote learning, D. Imitation. The correct answer is letter B. Evaluation involves judging the effectiveness of methods and making reasoned choices. Comparing strategies strengthens decision-making skills and deepens understanding. Which is the teacher's role in a constructivist classroom? A. Sole authority and knowledge provider. B. Passive observer of student activities. C. Facilitator who guides learning experiences. D. Grader of tests only. The correct answer is letter C. Facilitator who guides learning experiences. In constructivism, the teacher acts as a facilitator who creates meaningful tasks and supports student exploration. This empowers learners to build their own understanding. Which strategy best addresses different learning styles in one classroom? A. Using only lectures. B. Incorporating varied teaching methods such as visuals, discussions, and hands-on activities. C. Requiring all students to learn the same way. D. Giving one test format to everyone. The correct answer is letter B. Using multiple teaching approaches caters to visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learners. This ensures that all students can engage with the lesson in a way that suits them. A teacher integrates service learning projects into the curriculum. Why is this an effective facilitation strategy? A. It gives students extra work. B. It separates theory from practice. C. It connects classroom learning with real-life community needs. D. It replaces academic content. The correct answer is letter C. It connects classroom learning with real-life community needs. Service learning provides authentic experiences where students apply classroom knowledge to real community issues. This bridges theory and practice, making learning more meaningful. In facilitating learning, why is reflection an essential part of the process? A. It delays the lesson. B. It forces students to memorize. C. It helps learners make sense of experiences and internalize lessons. D. It only works for older students. The correct answer is letter C. It helps learners make sense of experiences and internalize lessons. Reflection allows learners to analyze what they have experienced and connect it to prior knowledge. This step solidifies learning and promotes long-term understanding. That's it for today's video. If you missed day 1 on general education, I will put the link in the description below so you can catch up. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss day 3 tomorrow. And while you're at it, please like and follow us on Facebook for more Let Review content. Keep reviewing, stay consistent, and see you in the next video. Good luck!